right, today we're going to talk about multiples of some fractions. So let's read the problem so we know what we have to do with it today. Jen is making 4 pans of baked ziti. For each pan, she needs 2/3 cup of cheese. Her measuring cup can scoop 1/3 cup of cheese. How many scoops of cheese does she need for the 4 pans? Ziti is a type of noodle. Okay, as you can see there in the pan. So our question for us today is, how many scoops of cheese does she need for the 4 pans? We know that she's making how many pans? 4. For each one, she's going to need 2/3 of a cup, but her measuring scoop is only measuring 1/3 cup. So let's look at the model that we're going to use to write the product of 4 times 2/3 as a product of a whole number in a unit fraction, which is what we did yesterday. So as you can see, the 4 comes from the 4 pans. In those 4 pans, she needs 2/3 cup of cheese. Everybody see that? Now take a look at the model. Why are they in thirds? Because what does it say up here? But her measuring cup is only doing what? 1/3. That's why it's in thirds, because we're going to be looking at what we're going to do with her measuring cup. So as you can see, they have the 3/3 that make a 1, and they have shaded 2/3 for the cup of cheese that we need from 1. Yes? So what am I adding together here? 1/3 and 1/3. And what we did yesterday was we turned this into 2 times 1/3. So it's the same thing. 1/3 plus 1/3 is the same thing as saying 2 times 1/3. You're doing it 2 times. Okay? So now if you look, there are 4 pans of the baked ziti, and each of the pans needs 2/3 of a cup of cheese. So as you can see, they did the 4 pans, and they shaded 2/3 in each one. Do you see that? Look out here in the blue. 1 pan is the 2 times the 1/3, which is a total of 2/3. When you do 2 pans, you're going to take 2 times 2 times 1/3. Now, this is still the same thing from before. Okay, you're taking 2 1/3. Does that make sense? The first 2 is because there are 2 pans. Everybody with me? So 2 pans times 2 times 1/3 gives you a total of 4 times 1/3. If you see this, you're taking your 2 times your 2, which is 4, and then adding the 1/3. So I have 4 times 1/3, and when I do that, what do I get? 4/3. Does everybody see how I get that? Yes? I'm not doing any multiplying and things here now. I'm just taking it 4/3. Now, if you notice, this right here is what is on your numerator. What's on your denominator? The same thing it's always been, right? Okay, let's look at 3 pans. Now I have 3 pans times the 2 times 1/3 gives you a total of 6. Where do I get that? 3 times 2, and I'm still taking it times the 3rd, and I'm going to get what now? 6/3. Everybody following? Some of you aren't even looking at your paper, so you can't be following if you're not looking. Pay attention to what's going on. Let's go on to 4 pans. Now I have the 4 times the same thing. Do you see the pattern here? 2 times 1/3, 2 times 1/3, 2 times 1/3, that's where we're getting this. Okay, so 4 times 2 and 1/3 is 8 times 1/3, which becomes 8/3. Alright, ready to fill this in? So if I have 4 times 2/3, which is what we started with up here, see it? What am I taking? 4 times what? How many times? 2. Times the 1/3. Remember, this all goes together. Yes? It's not changing. Okay? And what do I get when I do that? 8 times the 3rd, which gives me a total of 8/3. So that means that Jen needs 8 third-size scoops of cheese for 4 pans of ziti. Now, you can see it by looking at the model, but are we going to draw one for every single problem we do? Are you going to spend time drawing a model for everyone? Probably not. So we need to be able to do the multiplication and the equations over here on the side. So as you can see, they're all the same. 2 times 1/3, 2 times 2 times 1/3, 3 times 2 times 1/3. Okay? And this is what you're getting to at the end. Okay? What if, let's look at the number 1, Jen decides to make 10 pans of CD. It says to describe a pattern that you could use to find the number of scoops of cheese she would need. So let's take a look at our pattern. When I did the 1 pan, I had what? 2/3. When I did 2 pans, I had 4/3. When I did 3 pans, I have, see the pattern yet? 4 pans, I have 8/3. So what are you noticing about those numbers? They're going by 2, so everything is being doubled per pan, right? So there is how many pans? Well, here is only 4 pans, and I want to get how many? 10. So if you start with your 4 pans and she gets 8, 3 pans was 6, 2 pans is 4, they are doubling it, right? So what am I going to do with my 10? I'm going to double it also. So how many pans is it going, or how many pans, excuse me, how many scoops of cheese am I going to need? 20, what were we in? No, what are we in? What is the amount that we're giving? Guys, look up there. 4 pans of baked CD for each pan she needs 2/3 cup of cheese. What am I in? Thank you. Thirds. I'm still in thirds, right? I didn't change that part. Do I still need it to be in thirds when I'm done? Yes. I cannot just use the 8. Notice it says 8/3 size. So is it still going to be third size down here? Yes, it sure is. So how many am I going to have? If I have 10 pans and I'm doubling it, I get what? 20. Thank you. 20 third size scoops. Now it told us to describe the pattern that we used. What did we find? Well, it's doubling, yes. So you are doubling the amount of the pans. So, the number of scoops is 2 times the number of pans. So you can't leave off what your parts are. They were in third parts, so we still have to use that no matter if we're changing our amount of pans or not. Number of scoops is 2 times the number of pans, or what we call doubling it. Because 2 pans was 4 scoops, 3 pans was 6, 4 pans was 8, so if we're taking 10 pans, we know we're going to double that to 20. Questions about that? We need to know how to write these things that we had up here. So I'm hoping those of you who were not paying attention know what you're doing, because you're going to have to do that on the next page. Everybody get this written? Flip. All right, we have already learned to write the multiples of unit fractions. We did that yesterday, starting with 1/5 and then 2/5 and then 3/5, right? We did that yesterday. We can also write multiples of non-unit fractions. They don't have to have a 1 on the numerator. Okay? So we're going to use the number line to write the multiples of 2/5. So take a look at some of the stuff they wrote. Make sure you understand what's on top of the number line, what's the number line showing, and then what we write underneath it. Because you're going to have to do some of these, and you're going to have to interpret them. So if you look, you have your jumps here. You see your jumps. Now look at them. They're not just going from 0 to the first mark, are they? They're going from 0 to 2/5. So as you can see, they're taking 1 times 2/5. Okay? Where does the next jump go to? So how many is it jumping? 2 more. So you can see that they're taking 2 times 2/5. They jump twice, and we're still going by 2/5. Then they jump 3 times, and we're going by the same thing, right? So every time it's jumping by how much? 2/5. Does everybody see that? So once, twice, 3 times, 4 times, and 5 times. 2/5 stays the same. So down here, they're going by what? They started with the unit fractions, right? So 1/5, 2/5, 3/5, 4/5. So what's going to go here? Now look up here. Does this match that with what we just talked about? Because if I look, 4 times 2 is 8/5. So then we have 9/5. What's this one going to be? Does it match this? 5 times 2 is 10 over 5. Okay? Now, if you remember anything about multiples, you know that it's when you're counting by that specific number. So if we're going to count by multiples of 2/5, 2/5 is going to then be what? If I'm counting by multiples. 4/5. And then we're counting by 2s. 4th grade, 2, 4, 6. What comes next? 8/5. And then 10/5. And if you look, those all match those points on your number line. Here's your 2/5, your 4/5, your 6/5, your 8/5, and your 10/5. Everybody understand that? Pay close attention, because what they're going to give you is this, and you have to figure out what is it counting by. So it's not going to tell you these up here on top. You're going to have to come up with that. Make sense? So it says 3 times 2/5 equals 6/5. 3 times of doing that, what did you get? 6/5. We're going to now write 6/5 as a product of a whole number and a unit fraction. Okay? So take a look at what they did. Here's your spot. With me? 1 times 1/5, 2 times 1/5, 3 times 1/5. See how they're doing it in unit fractions? 4 times 1/5, 5 times 1/5, and then 6 times 1/5. So if you look, 3 times 2/5 is going to equal 6/5, or what? What am I turning it into? 6 times 1/5. See how it matches down here? So guys, when it says product of a whole number and a unit fraction, whole number, unit fraction is what you did yesterday. So if it says the product of a whole number and a unit fraction, that's what we're looking for. 6 times 1/5. Okay, if it asks for multiples, these are what you're looking for. Okay, everybody good with that so far? Okay, explain how to use repeated addition to write the multiple of a fraction as a product of a whole number and a unit fraction. This is what some of you tried to do yesterday. Instead of writing these, you wanted to write the unit fractions out. So how can I use that repeated addition? Bless you. So I'm going to write the fraction as a sum of what? The unit fractions, like we have done already prior to this, right? So write the fraction as a sum of unit fractions What's the repeated addition going to show you? How many times you're doing that, right? Yeah. So the repeated addition shows the number, and I'm running out of space, of addends. So however many times you're doing that repeated addition is going to show you the amount of addends. So as we have done in the past, we did 1/5 plus 1/5 plus 1/5 plus 1/5 plus 1/5 to equal your total of 1. All right? Those are your unit fractions. This is how many addends you're going to have. Okay? Yes. So this would be 5 times 1/5. This is the number of times you did it, and this is what you were multiplying by. Does everybody see how it turns